Joining us now, Democratic Senator from New York, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. It's really good to have you on the show, Senator.
Great to be here.
You have said that Happy Monday. We love Mondays. You've said that you worked very closely with Leader McConnell on this bill. Now that we see what's in it, seems to be as bipartisan as it gets. Why wouldn't both sides really want this to go through?
Well, it's a great question, Mika. Look, it took a long time, 4 months of arduous negotiations. They fell off the tracks a whole bunch of times. I had to be on the phone even at midnight saying we got to keep going. Why? We're at a turning point in America. This bill is crucial, and history will look back on it and say, did America fail itself? Why is it crucial? Well, if we don't aid Ukraine, Putin will walk all over Ukraine. We will lose the war, and we could be fighting in Eastern Europe in a NATO ally in a few years. Americans won't like that. If we don't help Israel defend itself against Hamas, that perpetual war will go on and on and on. If we don't help humanitarian aid to the starving Palestinians in Gaza, hundreds of thousands could starve. And the border, everyone has said it's chaos. You just saw Speaker Johnson. He said it's chaos. We have to do something legislative a few months ago. But what has happened, in answer to your question, so this is crucial for America. It's a turning point. History is going to look over our shoulders and say, did we rise to the occasion? To his credit, Mitch McConnell did. But too many Republicans, including Speaker Johnson, are just scared to death of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said he wants chaos. Donald Trump has said, well, wait till I become president. That'll take at least a year. Ukraine could be gone. The border will get much worse. War in the Middle East will get worse, maybe bringing us into it. He's doing it all for political reasons. And let me just say, will senators, the crucial question, the $64,000 question, the majority of Republican senators know this bill is the right thing to do. It's a compromise. I don't like everything in it. Neither does McConnell. But it's a compromise. That's the only way you get things important done in the Senate. We proved that 2 years ago in our bipartisan legislation. And will the senators drown out the political noise from Trump and his minions and do the right thing for America? It's a crucial question. History is looking down on every one of us right now.
So, Senator, what do you say to Speaker Johnson, who says this bill is worse than he thought, or whatever it was he said? I mean, how does one not see how these House Republicans are responding to this bill as not the hand of Trump and even Putin at play? And what do you say to Speaker Johnson directly about how they're playing this?
Yeah, I say to Speaker Johnson, don't let the 30 hard right people in the House who are extreme, they wanted us to default. They wanted the government not to pay its debts. They wanted us, the government to shut down. They're extremists, and they're running your show. Do the right thing. You know what the right thing to do is. You know we need to fix our border. You know that it has to be bipartisan. The bill that you passed didn't get a single Democratic vote in the House or the Senate. How are you going to get anything done? Or do you just want to make a speech, as you admittedly say the border's in chaos? Do something about it. Don't just politically posture.
So, Leader Schumer, Speaker Johnson was just noted, came out against the bill, saying it's worse than he expected. He's also been very clear. He's like, this is dead on arrival. He's saying this has no chance to pass the House. But if this does pass the Senate, which is you're confident will do.
I'm confident, hopeful is the right word. This is hard. And our Republican senators, we need a bunch of them, are under a lot of pressure from the right-wing Trump part of the party.
So let's do it in two parts. Talk to us a little more about the dynamics in the Senate and why you are hopeful. And then secondly, but even if you get it through the Senate, if he's saying it's dead, what happens next? How do the dynamics change?
Good questions, both. How do we get it through the Senate? Senators have to rise to the occasion. A large number of senators have shown real courage. Senator Lankford, I mean, he was chosen by Mitch McConnell to negotiate this because he's very conservative. He's not in the middle of where the Republican senators are. He's somewhat to the right, a very religious, deeply God-fearing man. And he had the courage to do it. McConnell, I mean, maybe I'm not supposed to say something good about McConnell because the right wing will go, ow, 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 which they always do. But he's shown courage because he knows it's the right thing to do. I've had private talks with McConnell. He knows what will happen to America if Putin and Ukraine succeed. And we have some of these right-wing Republicans in the Senate who used to decry Putin and now say don't aid Ukraine. All political and really horribly political. because of so much is at stake. So so let's assume that our senators in the Senate rise to the occasion, okay? And I hope they will. Everyone's talking to each other. Once they look at the bill, when Langford showed some of the Republicans the bill, they finally saw what was in it and say, oh, this is a real compromise. This isn't to sell out one way or the other. If it passes the Senate, there are a large number of congressmen in the House. First, there's a big group of hawks in the middle, and they care about funding Ukraine. They always have. And the strategy of Johnson is right now do nothing. There's a large number of pro-Israel people. They care about that. Then there's a large number of progressive legislators, I'm included, who want to see that the people in Gaza don't starve, and we get that aid to them. Plus, there are some who care about Taiwan, and there's money there to bolster us against China's aggression there. You know, we're in an aggressive world. And we've got a lot of dictators linking up, Russia, China, Iran. If we don't defend ourselves, we don't want this to be like 1938.
So you just spelled out that there's a lot of constituencies there for this bill, but Speaker Johnson is suggesting he won't even bring it up for a vote.
Well, he's saying that now because he hopes, his nightmare is we pass it in the Senate. So he's doing everything he can to thwart us passing it in the Senate. But once we pass it in the Senate, God willing, I think there'll be huge pressure from within his caucus and without to get this done. If he put this bill on the floor of the House, excuse me, if he put this bill on the floor of the House right now, it would pass. It would get a lot of Democratic votes and it would get some good number of Republican votes.
Senator, you've always been candid with me. We go back many, many years.
We sure do.
When you look at the fact that the Hispanic caucus and others, Menendez and others, have opposed it, is part of the battle to get enough Republicans, since you have some Democrats, for whatever reasons, that are against it. And in the House, we talk about Johnson, but Johnson doesn't have a huge majority in the House. It's only like a couple of votes. And our fellow Brooklynite, Hakeem Jeffries, can has so far been able to deliver a lot of the Democrats, even some progressives like you and I may have some questions, but it's the overall good. Can you etch out enough Republicans in the Senate and in the House, since you only need 4 or 5, given Johnson's not playing with a strong hand here? Can you get enough to pass these bills when we're looking at cities being invaded, Democratic mayors, particularly black ones, being invaded, and you see cops being beat up in Times Square, and it should have a humanitarian migrant kind of situation here. But at the same time, we are looking at the fact that we're at a crisis level here.
It's broken. Everyone admits, left, right, center, the border's broken. So we can all sit in our corners and say, do it my way or no way, and get nothing done and let it continue to be broken. And by the way, it's going to be more broken next year than it is this year if we don't fix it, because you have all these gangs and other coyotes and others bringing even more innocent people who are just struggling for their lives across the border. So the question is, are we able to we will lose a few Democratic votes, but not many. The overwhelming view in my caucus is, first, for Ukraine and aid for Israel. Second, to fix the border. So I think we'll get the vast majority of votes in our caucus, but the way the Senate works, as you know, you need 60, we have 51. So we at least need 9, but probably you need a good, the more the better, because that puts more pressure on Johnson to go along in his body. And in the House, you know, as you say, Hakeem's doing a great job, our fellow Brooklynite.
Right.
Brooklyn's in the House. I think that if Johnson were to make an effort to make this pass, he'd get the votes, because there's a large chunk of people in his caucus who don't want to see Ukraine go down the drain. And that's it. This started as Ukraine. Now, the Republicans said add border. We need their votes. So we did add border, and then we negotiated, much to the surprise of many, in real good faith. So it's not everything you or I would want. But it's clearly an improvement dealing with the chaos in the border.
Well, Senator, this definitely has a lot of foreign policy priorities in it. Do you support congressional authorization for ongoing kinetic action against the Houthis?
Yeah, well,
it's a bipartisan group has come forward.
Yeah, they have.
Supporting
Thus far, the president has given us adequate notice on every one of these, and that satisfies me at this point.
All right. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer will leave it there and watch what happens with this legislation. Thank you very much for
Thanks,
coming on
Mika.
this morning.
Great to
we
be on. It's
appreciate it.
You know, I know it's not seen as that with everything swirling around, but this is a historic moment, and I feel it.
It hopefully is. All right. Thank you very much, Senator. And turn